4 weeks ago, as you can all see, this cow had a seriously sore front right foot. We trimmed away a huge amount of hoof horn from her inner heel and revealed exposed corium, which was clearly the cause of her pain. You're watching the Hoof GP and a revisit to this cow. So yeah, it was 4 weeks ago since we last trimmed this cow, and she was, as you've just seen, incredibly sore on that front right foot. So getting that into the crush, I'm really keen to see how that front right foot is doing now. So this is 4 weeks ago. As you can see, she had a hole in her inner claw towards the heel area, and she was very sore because of it. We trimmed away all of the loose and detached hoof horn from around the lesion, which took a lot longer than I was hoping. Once we'd managed to debride the entire area and expose the corium, which was inflamed and angry underneath, we applied a block and finished off the entire trim by wrapping it up. This is how she was walking afterwards. We couldn't really tell because she was on a deep-bedded straw pen, but we did know she was still in pain. Well, like I said, this is 4 weeks later and she is back in. Her block is still on, but her bandage has been removed. Ideally, we want the bandage to stay on for around 1 to 2 weeks, and they are biodegradable, so it could have fallen off, rotted off, or been removed before we had a chance to recheck it, because now it's 4 weeks later, obviously. Right, so the block is clearly still in place, thanks to Hoof Grip Pro. You can see all of the area that we removed last time, and actually this block is still in really good condition. She's worn the front down quite heavily because obviously this area of her foot has been inflamed, so she's been walking on the front of her claw, and that has worn it down quite substantially. It's looking fairly good, but I don't think it's completely healed. There is only one way to find out though. Right, we're just gently going to scrape all of this. Obviously the cows have just walked across a straw-bedded pen to get here, and it's stuck on. Looks pretty good. Listen how hard that is. That's because the foot's not in contact with the ground, so it's not still saturated from the manure that these cows walk through. When they're this hard, actually, they're quite hard to trim because you're chipping pieces off rather than just carving it off. This is obviously the area that was really bad. If we just flick back, this is what it looked like 4 weeks ago. Pretty raw and open. And this is how it is today. Needing... Please stop. Right, she's lifting that other foot, and so I'm just going to lift it up actually. Just to keep it out of the way. Actually, when cows are restrained, they tend to stand still. They don't actually even try to writhe around quite as much. But because I've said that now, obviously she's probably going to disprove that, as is usually the case. I've said it a lot of times, obviously, but this is Mark's farm we're at, and they're really good at taking cows like this and giving them the attention they need to get fully over a problem. This cow is walking substantially better, and the tendency is, well, she's walking better, let's just leave her alone. That's what some people can think, but actually these little these little revisits are hugely valuable to the cow because they just keep the problem that is moving forward in the right direction. You can see that this is still cracking a little bit up in here, and the muck getting into that will just open that crack up a little bit and cause the problem to revert back to how it was. As soon as this, do not underestimate how much of a job this block is doing. It is massively, massively important to the cow, and it is stopping this from reverting back to how it was. So if this was to come off right now, this problem, I've no doubt at all, would just start to regress and go back to how it was. So it's important just to get these cows back in, make sure the block's still in good condition, make sure it's not going to fall off, and obviously get rid of all these little cracks that are rearing their ugly little heads. Just make sure we keep... See, that's why it's so important to take out this top bit. Last time, if you remember, and if we cut back to that, I carved all the way up to her hairline to make sure we got the very beginning of the crack removed from her hoof horn. And as a result, look, this new fresh hoof horn here is growing in perfectly without any cracks whatsoever. Just try and tease out this little crack here. Some old school hoof trimmers, I've no doubt, will be looking at what I'm doing and thinking that it's so small that it's pointless, but we're constantly learning as hoof trimmers, and the more we trim and the more everybody trims around the world, we've learned that these tiny little cracks and stopping them by removing them is what is really key to getting a cow completely over a problem. And there he is himself, look. The man, the myth, the legend. It's down to him that these cows actually get over lameness. It's just a shame he looks like that. See that? Better being lucky than good. It's bound to happen at some point.
Because I was doubting you.
Aye. I know a lot of folk do. Aye. Right, I'm actually just going to reduce all of this with the grinder a little bit.
I remember a girl, I would sneak into her parents' house.
These are the exact results that we aim to achieve when we do a therapeutic trim to any cow with a problem. Unfortunately, it's not always the case though. These are what dreams are made of when it comes to hoof trimming and our profession, and we are as an industry getting better and better at it all the time, which is one of the most gratifying things I've ever come across. Of course, all of this is pointless if she isn't walking better than she was. I've just said it would be pointless if she wasn't walking much better than she was. And I'm sad to say that I don't think she is walking fantastically well. The journey for this little cow is not over. To me, she still does have a bit of a limp, but I'm hoping eventually that will subside.